Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ashigbey.
Thank you very much. Today again that I have to be on news trial. Unfortunately, I'm in my holy village in Cham, so I've not been listening to the program.
All right. Okay. So what do you say to those who say the president's admission of this being a mistake and regretting same is a very bold move, and it is something that deserves commendation rather than condemnation?
Well, for me, for what the president said, I also agree that it's only a leader who, a courageous person who would make a mistake and publicly accept the error that they have made. And so I would agree that definitely it's a sign of courage. But what I would hope is that once the president has made this admission of the error, something that we had pointed out long ago, from when AISHA was arrested as a member of the coalition, Occupy Ghana, petitioned the AG before the charges were amended from the immigration charges that were brought charged on her, and then it was amended to add the Minerals and Mining Act, to the point where the case was going to court, and then the nolle prosequi was filed by the Attorney General. And we petitioned the Attorney General asking for an explanation because we thought that it was a grave error. It was definitely going to throw a spanner in the wheel of the government's own fight. It was going to be a demotivation to the officers of Operation Vanguard, to Ghanaian citizens who were given information. For everybody who was involved in this fight, it was definitely a wrong move. So we hope that the president would ensure that those who were responsible for that error, an error that all of us had seen, we make sure that they are held responsible. But not only should we also hold them responsible for the error that they made, but the changes that has to go on, we need to be able to start seeing them. Unfortunately, if you look at all the reports that Operation Vanguard gives, when Ghanaians and foreigners are arrested, the Ghanaians are handed over to the police, but then the foreigners are handed over to immigration. And we know that immigration will not prosecute anybody under the Minerals and Mining Act that the government has amended and discriminatorily have harsher sentences for foreigners. But these people are handed over to the immigration. I remember sometime in September that there were some Chinese that were arrested. They found in their possession arms and ammunition. And we all know that in this country, if you have arms and ammunition and you don't have licenses for them, it is a criminal act, and that will not be prosecuted by the immigration. But we are still seeing that these people are being handed over to the immigration. My check shows that from Operation Vanguard arrest, only about 14% of these people have been convicted. And I'm not too sure that there are any foreigners who have been convicted. So it is important that as the president has regretted it, we need to start seeing signs that now when these foreigners are arrested, including people from Guinea-Bissau and everything, they are taken through the Minerals and Mining Act, and they are punished. I would propose that all of these people, they get a combination. We find them and ensure that these fines go into reclaiming and restoring our land. And also they serve the maximum sentences, and then afterwards they are deported. So that when I was traveling to Malaysia recently, when they give you your visa, they stop in it that when you come into that country and you come and engage in anything with drugs, it is death. That is what the ultimate punishment is. And so that people would know that when I come into Ghana and I come and misbehave from any foreign country, I know that this is what the punishment I would get. Let's also be mindful that the Chinese ambassador, when was asked us that why is it that there's as much gold in South Africa as there is in Ghana, but then, we only see the Ghanaians coming, but the Chinese coming into Ghana. So that is also very, very important that we don't just stop as a regret, but we also ensure that going forward, we change the things that we were doing in the past so that they will no more see Ghana as an attractive place to come and destroy our land and destroy our water bodies.
So we know that we should get to the substantive matters, even though the suggestion now is that what has happened is such a major setback for the fight going forward. We know that even recently, is it Operation Vanguard or Calm Life? The Operation Vanguard has made some successes. From where you sit, as being one who follows almost every activity. How has the deportation affected the drive?
Well, definitely what it meant was that, you know, for when you arrest these people who are really the catalyst for this Galamsey thing, the people then realize that, you know, you do that, all they do is then they go and they come back. Because when you speak to the immigration people, now what they do is that because they are asked to get visas before they come into Ghana, they don't come directly into Ghana. They go into a neighboring country, and because our borders are closed, they come back in and then they come back and do it. And if you recollect, very recently the commander of Operation Vanguard asked us to turn our focus now to the people who actually are financiers. And we know that for AISHA Huang, you know, she was not just involved in it, but she was a major financier. Not only was she a major financier, she was also a major source of which a lot of the monies that were gotten out of this was sent out of this country. So the commander of Operation Vanguard definitely is telling you that, and this was before the president made his statement, he's telling you that that is a grave error. And these are the people to whom we need to focus. And another effect it also had is that for the locals, they tend to think that this is discriminatory because when they are arrested, they are prosecuted, and some of them land in jail, but these people don't do it. So they also think that the best thing to do is to go and find these people to come and talk, and then they work with them. So definitely it was a major damper. It, you know, it killed the resolve of those who really want to fight it, and then it encouraged those who want to continue doing it.
Interesting. The locals who have also been issuing their complaints about this particular treatment, which they find discriminatory, what should be done to change that kind of perception, that this is a mistake, it's been admitted, and so going forward, there's also the assurance. The president said there's been amendment to the law, and therefore now it's even becoming a riskier thing to get into this thing.
Well, you know, even in the past, before the amendment was made, the punishment for foreigners was harsher than that for local people. So if really we wanted to apply the law, it would have solved it. So the amendment itself is not what would tell the locals that something has changed. The thing that would let them know that something has changed is to ensure that these foreigners, when they are arrested, are not handed over to the immigration. They need to start seeing that these foreigners are prosecuted. We need to start seeing in the media that this person, this Chinese, this person from Guinea-Bissau, from Togo, from everywhere else, is coming and has been arrested and has gone through the process, been convicted. And that's the only way they will then begin to see that the discrimination against them has stopped. Remember that not too long ago, somewhere in the eastern region, there were some Ghanaians who were prosecuted. And that was a major thing that their families were saying. That means people do these things with these Chinese people. But then when they are arrested, it is only them that see the back of, you know, the jail. But they don't see it. So for this thing to change, it would require that when the arrests are made and Operation Vanguard hands these people over, the police investigators need to take this case up, do a good brief and give them to the prosecution, and we need to get these people through our law court, let them have a day in court. And it's also going to be important for the media itself to also follow these things so that when prosecutions are going on of foreigners, we also bring them out to the fore so that the locals will know that when you are arrested and the harsher sentences are applied to you, the same thing would also apply to the foreigners who are engaged in this. This is the only thing that would let us know that, as the president said, this is an error, then we are beginning to change what has happened. And then also we need to, for me, one of the fundamental things that need to happen, there are some things that are still lingering on. You remember the Anas thing that was done. As we speak now, currently, we don't know where it is. The special prosecutor is working on it. It is important that if they are innocent, the investigation should say they are innocent. Because in Ghana, definitely are presumed innocent till found guilty. But if also they are guilty, they need to also, you know, face the consequences for what they have done.
All right.
So that it incentivizes the media itself to also begin to do this. Because it is important to name and shape. And my fear is that as we are getting close to the silly season, close to elections, if you are not too careful and we don't do this, take this as a national exercise, at the ground, the local politicians will start playing partisan politics with this thing what is an existential threat. So it's time for all the leadership of, who are involved in this to actually walk the talk that the president has started. That definitely for foreigners, the law says that there's a harsher sentence. So when they are arrested, we should ensure that we take them through the right processes. We prosecute them, and if it's successful, they should be both trying. Because bear in mind, the amount of money we require to be able to restore and fix our land is a lot. Let's take that as right from them.
What do you say to this? Finally, in a minute, the independent presidential candidate Jacob Osei-Boa says that all the arrests made on Galamsey sites are fake, unless the person who has the license to mine on that land is also prosecuted. But he says those are the big guys for the government. How can you arrest and leave the employees?
Well, I think it's proper, because I remember when we went to Obuasi for one of the town hall meetings, one of the chiefs, what he said we should start doing is that anybody's land, he was not even only just talking about just the owners of the land or the owners of the concession, but also the chiefs who are responsible for that as well should be held accountable. I think for me that's been one of the failures we've had. Our intelligence of services should be able to turn their eyes onto those who actually are financing this thing. Renting an excavator for a day, it's not chicken feed. So let's ask, who are the people bringing all of these excavators in? Who are the people importing all these chamfantes? Who are the people financing this? Let's go to our bank. Let's follow the money. If we follow the money, we will be able to tell. So I agree with him. We need to start holding accountable those whose land they are mining them. And even the chiefs who are also in there. And I think critically also is the district chief executive. These people are the district, when you come to the district security committees, they are the chairpersons.
All right.
They also are responsible for the mining. So we should start holding them accountable wherever there's mining within India.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken Ashigbey. Ken Ashigbey is convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. The twist. I can see you have the Occupy Ghana statement.